Good morning, dear first secondary student. Today we are going to have the poetry Sonnet 18 by William Shakespeare. William Shakespeare was born in William Shakespeare was born in Sutterford-on-Avon in 1564 and died and was buried there in 1616. In his lifetime, Shakespeare wrote 37 plays, among which are Romeo and Juliet, Hamlet, Macbeth, and Othello. He also wrote a number of narrative poems and a sonnet sequence consisting of 154 sonnets. What the meaning of sonnet? And where would the sonnet originated and what would its first form? First, sonnet is a poem in 14 lines dealing with one idea or emotion, is usually a personal one. The sonnet originated in Italy, and the word sonnet means little song or a small lyric. The sonnet's first form was divided into two parts, one consisting of 8 lines and the other of 6 lines. Shakespeare came and changed this form. He changed the internal form of the sonnet. He divided the 14 lines into three quatrains, and quatrain means a stanza of 4 lines each and a heroic couplet at which the end of the poem, two rhyming lines to sum up the whole idea. So again, Shakespeare came and changed the form of the sonnet. He divided the 14 lines into three quatrains, each quatrains 4 lines, and the last 2 lines, called heroic couplet, is to sum up the whole idea of the poem. What is the main idea of this poem here before we start reading the poem? The main idea that the poet compares his beloved to a summer's day. And he said that she is more lovely and more temperate than the summer day. Now let's read the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leaves hath all too short a date. Sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his old complexion dimmed. And every fair from fair sometimes declines, by chance or nature's changing course untrimmed. But the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death break thou wanderest in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long live this, and this gives life to thee. So this is our poem consisting of 14 lines, and every stanza or quatrain consists of 4 lines. And the last 2 lines, we called it what? Heroic couplet. Now we have the meaning of the poem, and the meaning will not come in the exam. So let's read or paraphrase the first quatrain of the poem. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? Thee here means you. Thou art more lovely and more temperate. Art means are. More lovely and more temperate. Temperate means mild or even tempered. Rough winds do shake the darling buds of May, and summer's leave hath all too short or a date. And summer's leaves have all too short a date. Okay, here the paraphrase. The poet asks whether he should compare his beloved to a day in summer. He declares that she is more lovely and more tempered. He then lists the thing that he does not like about summer day, even in May. Strong winds sometimes blow, shaking the small, fragile buds. Summer does not long last. He said that summer does not long last, but you will see that his beloved beauty will last forever. The second stanza of the second quatrain. Sometime too hot the eye of heaven shines, and often is his old complexion dimmed. What the meaning of old complexion? Old complexion means color of face. Okay? Dimmed means made dim or made dull, not bright. And every fair from fair sometimes declines. Here, fair means beauty, thing. Declines means decays or goes away. By chance or more, nature's changing course untrimmed. Nature's course change, Nature changing course, sorry, means a normal way by which things change. Untrimmed means having or become ugly or unpleasant. Here, sometimes the sun makes the weather too hot. Sometimes the sky is cloudy, and every beautiful creature will at some point cease to be beautiful, either through some accident or because it is natural for all living things to grow old and die. Here he says that every one of us will become old and his appearance will change, okay? But his beloved will never change. The paraphrase of the third quatrain, he said, but the eternal summer shall not fade, nor lose possession of that fair thou owest, nor shall death brag through wondrous in his shade, when in eternal lines to time thou growest. Okay, what the meaning of eternal? Eternal means lasting forever. Fade means grow dull and careless die. Lose possession means no longer possess, no longer have. Brag means boast, speak proudly. The wanderest means you wander or walk aimlessly. And here shade means shadow or dark place where no sun comes. Lines here means lines of verse or poetry. Though growest means you continue to live. Here he said, his beloved summers, on the contrary, will last forever. She will never be able to say that he possesses her. She will, in fact, live in lines of verses that cannot die. So he said that his beloved will last forever, and she will never able to say that she possesses her. She will never lose her beauty. Now we are going to paraphrase the last two lines or the heroic couplet. So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so long live this, and this gives life to thee. These are the summing up of the main idea of the poem. He said, as long as men live and as long as they read poetry, the poet's verse will live and his beloved will live in it. Okay, so this is what the summing up of the poem, and this is the main idea of the poem, that as long as men live, as long as we read the poetry, the poet's verse will live, the lines of the poem will live forever. And through the lines, his beloved will live in it. What about the commentary in this poem? What is the main idea of the poem? This is a very important question. What is the main idea of the poetry? The poet compares his beloved to a day in summer and said that she is more lovely and more tempered. And and that her love will last forever because she will never lose her beauty, as death will never own her or possess her. As long as people read the poem, the verse will live and his beloved will live in it. So, this is the main idea of the poetry. What about the rhyme scheme of this sonnet? Rhyme scheme is A A C C C D C D E F E F G G. Again, the rhyme scheme is A B A B C D C D E F E F G G. Shakespeare states his main theme in the first line by asking a question. He asks a question in the first line. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? He gives a tentative answer to the question in the second line. Okay, tentative means not certain or definite because you may want to change it later. Shakespeare goes on for the next six lines to justify and develop this answer that his beloved is more lovely than the summer's day by quoting negative points which can be found in summer's day, that it is not always calm, sometimes too hot, sometimes cloudy. The most telling thing that summer is short and the beauty reveals is short lived. In the third quatrain, he turns back to his beloved with the powerful declaration that the summer will be that her summer will be eternal, which means will last forever. The grammar of the poem is simple. The repetition of a certain words create eternal musical patterns. This is a very important thing also. The repetition of certain words create what? Create eternal musical patterns in the sonnets, as in more in line 2, fair in line 7 and 10, and as long in the final couplet. The meter of the poem is iambic pentameter. What is the meaning of iambic pentameter? It means that it is made up of an unstressed syllable followed by stressed syllable. Shakespeare doesn't make great use of figure of speech in this poem. It means that we don't have a lot of figure of speech in this poem. So let's start the figure of speech. We have the first quatrain, line 4, and summer's lease has all too short a date. Here we have personification. He describing summer as a person writing a contract. Second quatrain, first line, sometimes too hot the eye of heaven shines. We have here metaphor. What the meaning of metaphor? Metaphor means a word or a phrase used to describe somebody or something in a way that it is different from its normal way use. Okay, in order to show that the two things have the same um, qualities to make the description more powerful. Here we have metaphor describing the sun as the eyes of heaven. We have also in the second quatrain, second line, and often is his old complexion dimmed. Again, what's the meaning of old complexion? It means what? It means the color of face. We have here personification. He describing the sun as a person with complexion, with color of face. We have third quatrain, first line, by the eternal summer shall not fade. We have something called equation. It means equation of youth with summer, and equation means that the act of making something equal or considering something as equal. We have the third quatrain, third line, nor shall death brag the wanderest in his shade. We have personification, describing death as a person who speaks loudly. Now we have finished our poem for today. I wish you all the best, inshallah, and goodbye.